an appearance.
It's the official record. Just kidding.
Now I have to drink water.
Hey, we're recording this.
Cool.
And we're drinking water. She's hydrating.
Same.
I know, that's actually so rare for me.
Well, I got festive and I opened a non-alcoholic Guinness.
Very
Fun.
nice.
Just nourish some blood.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So obviously it's going to be a little staccato this first time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we already just kind of checked in with each other, like randomly, not really checking in, but just chatting. So now it's a lull and it feels awkward because we're recording.
You're okay.
Non-verbal cues.
Yeah. I'm just getting used to recording again. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I've ever considered getting a tarot card. Sorry, tarot. I'll say it the way you guys want me to say it. Tarot card.
It's just the way I say it. It's not the way you
Yeah.
need to say it.
Yeah.
It's the most common way. It's just
Mhm.
my teachers was very like, it's tarot.
Mhm.
But she was a very particular person, so I could see that being a very particular thing for her.
Yeah.
But one of you has a tattoo of a tarot card.
Mhm.
Huh? And which
Yes.
card is that?
That would be the Fool. Numero
0.
no. I was like, wait a minute. Yeah. That would be the Fool. I have it tattooed and yeah. I don't know.
Comfortable sharing?
Sure.
No, you don't have to show it
No,
on
okay,
screen,
cool.
sweetie. But hooray for you. No. Saying like why? Why you like the Fool?
The Fool, I chose the Fool specifically because it's a very happy-go-lucky card. From everything that I understood about it, it was about just really diving into things and kind of not caring about how you think and how you'll be perceived and things like that. And that is something that I worry about all of the time. And it's not like that changed all that much once I got it tattooed, but
It's like a
um,
nice reminder, though.
yeah, I think about it more, and
Mhm.
it's the placement of it. I feel like if it was at a place where I saw it every single day, all the time, it might remind me of it more. But yeah, it's really just the energy of it about just being able to dive into things and that like sometimes it kind of may not be the best idea either to just like fully go and like head first, not really paying attention. But I don't know. I have also done a lot of things that way and it's worked out very well for me. I I like even just in the past week, I feel there's a lot of random things where just with timing or like the way I've been like, yeah, I'll just do this and then blah blah blah. Blah. And then it's actually worked out really well this week. And I've been like, oh, that timing worked out so well. If I hadn't have done this, then I wouldn't have like run into that person or something like that. It's been really cool. Yeah.
Agreed. The Fool is kind of it's the name of it is kind of misleading because I feel at least here in the US when you think of a fool, we think of something a little bit different,
Mm-hmm.
derogatory, but yeah, that definitely beats analysis paralysis, right? Like not being able to do anything because you're so stuck in the thinking of it and talking yourself
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
And I feel like the Fool, the way I can really relate to the card, or the name of the card specifically, is like allowing yourself to be foolish and to be perceived as foolish, which is really scary if that's something that you're scared of, which I obviously am, based on I'm assuming what my face looks like.
Like it's a fairly common thing for people not wanting to feel foolish.
Being
Mhm.
very self-conscious of how they're being perceived.
Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, obviously you don't want to be completely hellish and not give a shit. Sorry, there's the first curse word of the night about anyone, but should there be a disclaimer? We all know sailor speak, or
I think it's fine.
We're adults
Yeah, we're all
with mouths.
adults with mouths and
biologically adults.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mentally, I'm just talking about myself, not you. And then Ashlyn, you mentioned that you thought about getting the Fool.
Mm-hmm. Um,
Yeah.
Tarot is a little bit of a newer venture for me. But I've really just kind of enjoyed it and latched onto it. But last year when I did my reading for the new year and a handful of other times, the Fool has been a card that would pop up frequently for me. And to me, that meant starting over, transitions, letting go of things that don't serve me and not being afraid to start anew and letting go of the things that are like weighing me down. Because in a lot of depictions of the Fool, it's like, somebody with just like a small sack on their back and all this stuff just trailing behind them. As the first card in tarot, it also to me signals like new beginnings. And like Emma was saying, just like taking this path and like if you didn't do that thing, then this wouldn't have happened. And so it just really speaks to me about like at least what I've been going through in my life, especially recently. I feel like really letting go and listening to what I need and what I need to have with me, like those essentials, the stuff that actually matters, and not worrying about the things that don't matter. That's been a really big theme for me this year, letting go of connections that don't work for me, starting over and really just enjoying the things that I'm actually passionate about and just really, full sending on the things that bring me joy. Because I feel like that's something that a lot of people need, especially with how the world is. I think that if we all did things that made us happy, something silly, something small, doesn't matter how other people perceive it, as long as you enjoy it. I think that goes a really long way to helping your mental. Um, and I've always been somebody that like when I hyperfixate on a new, craft or just like whatever subject it is, I tend to deep dive full send. I get really, really invested in it and then learn everything that I can, and then I'm ready to move on to the next thing. So, I'm trying to not do that as much and be more consistent about the things that I'm passionate about. But I think that carrying more of that energy into everything that I do and putting that passion and effort into the things that I need to be growing and focusing on, that's kind of what the card means for me. So,
Mhm. It is kind of like a full potential card. Like
mhm,
there's open heart, and like the only weight you got is, the stick with your essential belongings. Obviously, it's not like all your emotional baggage, hopefully,
mhm.
and
Mhm.
away you go. wanderer. Yeah.
There
It's
are a
very
couple
much a vulnerable card.
for
You were
sure.
gonna say, Emma?
There are a couple depictions of the card that I actually don't even remember what the original
I got it here.
okay, okay, yeah. There are a couple versions. There's one in the tarot deck that when I started using it, I can grab it in a minute, but
I could
when
also
I
grab
started
mine.
using it regularly, I that's when I started getting the Fool in a bunch of my readings. And it was also ones where it was like, what is the center of your personality? And it was like the Fool. And I was like, okay, I guess. And then I was like, okay, I like that. But in that depiction, he I think had the what is that called again?
Like
Uh
a
knapsack?
rucksack? Yeah, like a rucksack, knapsack.
Knapsack. Um, he had that, but also an umbrella, which I really liked, and I thought that was kind of cool. Like, and he was already had a foot like off of the cliff, which I thought was cool. And I think on the tattoo version that I have, the skeleton version has a foot off the cliff as well. Um, I saw another one that it was a cat that was the Fool, and it was like chasing a butterfly off of the cliff. I've just seen a lot of cool different versions that are like,
Mhm.
I think it's cool that in this original one, the Fool is just kind of gazing off onto the cliff, but I also thought it was interesting that in the other ones, it seemed like it was like, instead of just standing at the edge, it seemed more like the Fool was actually like walking off and doing something that people were not
Hmm.
supportive of. I don't know if that's the right way to say that, but yeah.
Seems like it, yeah. So they're already in motion.
Mhm.
Right? Yeah.
The artwork for this card is very interesting. It's very whimsical. We see this guy is like dressed very fun, colorful, silly outfit. He's got a rose and a dog. Um, so very whimsical and like la-di-da. But the depiction of the sun being behind kind of reminds me of like a sunset or the sun setting on something with
Mhm.
him looking away towards the east, which would be like where the sun rises. And you get a fresh perspective on things and new beginnings. Um, with it like right on the edge of a cliff. So it very much speaks to like being ready to take that next step in a journey or letting go of something and being ready to just like charge in. Doesn't matter if it's a steep drop or not. Like the fact is, or just the fact that, you're trying and you're putting an effort and like you're willing to take that risk.
Mhm.
Yeah. And like I'm not, well, I have to say, I like dogs a lot more now. Now I am obsessed, but due to allergies, for the most part, avoided dogs most of my life. But I know they're like the all-knowing symbol for, loyalty and best friend and support, right?
Hmm. Guidance.
Yeah. So it's very interesting that the dog looks a little bit more emotion on this one, right? Like,
Hmm.
come on, let's go.
So excited. Like, yeah, we're gonna do something new today. Let's go.
Yeah. I'm trying to
Mhm.
think. I don't, I'm not quite sure. Oh, that's the 0. I was like, wait, what is that? That's 0. I'm like, huh? Um, and then
Yeah, it almost looks like a really distant halo, but I don't think there are any halo depictions in tarot.
Mm-mm.
like the
Like no like true halos. I guess
yeah.
there's the magician has like the infinity, but that's
There's
different.
sometimes like depictions of the high priestess or the empress might, but
Mhm.
it's not common.
Yeah.
I think probably in more themed tarot decks or
Yeah.
oracle decks?
Yeah, I was talking about the original. I'm doing a research project on halos right now. So I was like, wait a minute.
Awesome. You
Mhm.
should I started listening to a new audiobook. It's the new book out by Dan Brown. And the
Mm.
beginning of it kind of talks about there's a lecture about halos because he's a symbologist, right?
Mhm.
Oh,
Robert
sick.
Langdon. So
Mhm.
Is it just a continuation of like the Da Vinci Code, or is it a new story?
it's it's still the same primary character, but it's a brand
Gotcha.
new story.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting.
And it deals with noetic science. So I'm like, yes,
That's pretty cool.
Mhm.
study of consciousness,
Yeah.
essentially. So yeah. Which is 1,000% my passion. So one of.
Very nice.
Yeah. I know like in the card, like this may not be the best picture of it because I know the card, it's a little bit bluer here, the water,
Mhm.
because you
Mhm.
almost don't know, is that mountains? Is that like snowy mountains? But it's supposed to be like water.
I like how yellow the card is, because yellow is like it's like a color for happiness, joy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So having so much of that is like telling you you don't need to be afraid. So,
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. And then there's something like, well, for me, water is very rewarding, but emotional, but also cleansing, right?
mhm,
You get to go and there's flow, there's movement. Again, it's not a static. This card isn't static at all. Everything in it is like speaking movement. Even the cliff, like it doesn't just how do I say it? Like there's movement in the edge of it because it's not
yeah.
Mhm.
uh, it's almost like you could see any moment part of it like break off or kind of not in a
Mhm.
dangerous way, but it gets him on his path.
Mhm.
It reminds me of Sunset Cliffs, because like parts of it are starting to crumble, which is really sad, but it's making this new path now, this new landscape, which is really interesting.
Is
So,
that
Hmm.
like near Encinitas? Or is that
um,
didn't that
Pacific
happen?
Beach.
Oh,
It's
okay.
south.
Yeah.
It's south.
Mhm.
But also the ones up like Beacons Beach is one
Mhm.
of the ones where someone really got injured in the past few years from cliff sliding. But like all of them, La Jolla,
Mhm. All the
Sanitas.
cliffs are like starting to erode at the edge, so they're all kind of sliding down right now, especially with all the rain that we've gotten the past few years. It's caused a lot of extra erosion.
Mhm.
So, it's very interesting.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll look at my notes if I can read them. Maybe I should have brought my glasses. Oh,
Um,
yeah.
I was just gonna say I also have this book.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I didn't know if you wanted to reference it at all. And like in the back, it has the
Kind of symbolism.
symbolism breakdown of
Mhm.
each card. Um,
I do believe it's very similar, not entirely different from the other um, ebook that I shared with you about the symbolism. But I do like her book, Beatrix Quintana, because
mhm.
she used to sell art, so everything's like from an artist or art perspective. And
Yeah. Um, yeah, I also have this if you wanted to reference it at all. And
yeah,
then
do you want to? I mean, are you comfortable?
yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say, I thought it was interesting because you can't really tell on the online as much, but it's saying that the leggings that he has on or the stockings are actually green. And the tunic is green as well, which I can see that a bit more. But the like background is a yellow sky and those are yellow boots. But it's interesting. Yellow boots foundation footing in the light and logic, but a yellow sky indicates pure intention coming from light source and energy.
Hmm.
So it's interesting that the yellow, I mean, it makes sense that it means things in different things in different applications, but
Oh, 100%. Oh, yeah, I'm looking, the green leggings, natural understanding. The green
Mhm.
being more that nature. It's hard for me to think of green and not go, that's wood, and yellow, and that's earth. But TCM brain
Mhm.
needs to be quiet right now. Although I would say the Fool very much reminds me to Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, very similar whimsical energy.
Yeah, like the Wu Wei, you're hungry, you eat. You're tired, you sleep. You feel like skipping, you skip. Like you just do
Yeah.
what instinctively comes to you.
Life needs more whimsy, so I
Yeah.
agree with that.
And I like this. I didn't know this. The feather of the like the plume on his head is a feather of the phoenix, so a symbol of rebirth. And
Mm-hmm.
then the 9 pinwheels on his tunic are 9 pinwheels of consciousness, indicating completion of other lifetimes and awareness of past experiences
Hmm.
already completed. So
I love
a
that.
lot more, I don't know, when you look at the symbolism of the fool, there's a lot more that they know, I guess, than like you hear the fool, you see him walking off a cliff, you're like, that's a fool. um, but you know, the has all the experience or knowledge of his past experiences and lives, and that gives a very different meaning and a lot of more like I don't know, validity, or I guess I don't know if validity is the right word, but authority almost in being able to say, I think this is an okay path for me to take, and I'm going to do that.
Mm-hmm. It's utilizing your past experiences to make wiser choices and allowing that wisdom to fuel your next steps.
Mhm.
And like, I feel like, with each experience that we have in life, we learn something from it and we get wiser. We learn like if we lie to someone, we get in trouble. If we don't do well on a work project, we're not going to get a similar opportunity. And so we take those experiences, we learn from them, and then we apply them to our futures and like our next experiences. So having that wisdom of like, okay, well, this didn't serve me. So what if I did this instead? And like following that path of happiness and really focusing on the essentials.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because I had this crazy thought. I mean, I still want to talk about the Fool here the way it's talking about. Um, but then it was like I was curious, if you were to create your own deck, how would you depict the Fool? I know this is putting you on the spot.
Hmm.
Because you mentioned, Emma, like some really cool imagery already that you've seen.
Mhm. And one of my like it's my newest deck. It's my favorite deck so far, if such a thing is allowed. Um because it's all the cards are Greek gods and goddesses and titans, and so it makes the most sense to me that tarot ever has. Because I see it and like sometimes I don't know all of the Greek gods and goddess. Yeah,
And
Yeah.
day gods
I
too.
got lost
The
somewhere on there.
deities.
Yes, Thank you. I
Can't
don't
be
know
wrong.
all of them, but a lot of the times I can see them and go, "Oh my gosh, I know what this card means now," or at
Mm.
least have a little bit more of an understanding for it. And there's certain things where it's like, I think like Poseidon, god of the sea, like there's a lot more to him, and I think he's the tower because
Mm.
he's like very like also god of earthquakes and like big major shift happening and stuff like that. And I think that's what I don't remember the tower exactly, but I'm
Well,
pretty sure. But
I'm intrigued in finding out who Hecate is in the deck.
she is the magician.
Ah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
temperance, but
Mhm.
magician makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
goddess of witchcraft. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and I love it. I'll grab it in a sec.
Mhm.
But
Because
it's like the
now
most
I
I've
know we both want it.
yeah, the most I've ever understood tarot before. And like my first thing was I was like, who is the fool gonna be? Like that was the biggest thing. And it still hasn't fully clicked,
Hmm.
but I think I'm getting it more. I also don't know a ton about Pan. Like
Oh,
it makes more sense, but it didn't click right away. Like, because I don't know a ton about him. Like I Pan, like he's satyr, I believe.
god of the
And
wilds,
God of the
Hermes'
Wilds, like the
son, I
forests
believe.
and, like, things like that, like, it makes sense, but it's not something I would have pieced together right away. Let me grab the deck really quickly.
Mhm. I also want to go grab my mermaid one because that was the first one, and that's where I first pulled the fool. So I want to go over the symbolism on
Yeah.
that card, but I will be right back.
I mean, I think it's kind of interesting because without thinking of Pan, like I'm looking it up now, but
Mhm.
um I always thought of Pan as I'm going back into like plays and stuff where Pan is depicted and it feels a little bit like a sinister trickster kind of thing or a trickster,
Yeah,
almost like a
and,
Loki.
like, I think wait, sorry, what?
I said almost like Loki.
Oh, Loki, yes. Um, yeah, I can kinda see that for Pan, more of, like, a trickster kind of vibe, but I mean, that would be more Hermes, but they're all multi-dimensional beings. So,
Yeah.
um, another interesting thing about this deck is that like none of them sometimes they're like sort of in different movements, but it's not depicted as like a full thing. It's all based off of like the portrait of the god or goddess. How do
Mm.
I get that to not be like the worst glare ever?
Oh, I can see it. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you can see like he has a flute, his pan flute, and there's a bunch of butterflies, and it looks like some baby's breath and other plants like adorned around his horns. But yeah, it like I don't know. And I think it's just because I expected to feel more of a connection or know about Pan more already since I felt such a connection with the Fool, which is really foolish of me to just like assume that I would know about.
Mhm. You know what's interesting is baby's breath, and I like had to look it up to remember because I'd looked this up before, but baby's breath usually symbolizes purity, innocence, and new beginnings,
Mm,
which is why it's used a lot in wedding bouquets. Like it's not just a filler flower, it's to symbolize like a new journey, a new era of your life starting.
nice. That's cute.
Hmm.
Also, in the little book for this deck, it says God of the Wild, Shepherds, and Mischief. So yeah.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about this deck, it also does Risen, and then for reversed, it says it calls it Fallen, which I think is kind of cool. Um, but for the Risen, it says like you have reached the beginning of a journey, and Pan's wild spirit burns within you. In this new adventure, there's a calling to channel Pan's free-spirited nature and leave behind any fear, regret, or anxiety.
Hmm.
Um, and I really like that. That's sorry, I'm talking a lot about this deck, but it also says like this god or goddess is like with you in this way, and they're supporting you, or like their eye is on you, or something like that. Like it's very interactive, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Athena, stop.
That's a really cool deck.
Yeah, we
I'm
need the link,
intrigued.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Mythos Tarot Pocket Edition.
Mythos Tarot.
I'll have to get that information later.
It's just gonna be screenshots of this, and then right next to it's my face going.
Oh, did you? Okay. I can.
Mythos Tarot Pocket Tin Edition.
Yes. Where
Guidance from the Greek gods. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so pretty.
before we move to the mermaid one, because I know you want to share that, Ashlyn, but
Hmm.
when I looked on I looked up Pan and then Wikipedia, it actually says, um, dang it, where'd it go? So, ancient Greek religion and mythology, Pan is the god of the wild, shepherds and flocks, rustic music, and impromptus. And impromptus, that's like spontaneity. So that
Mm-hmm.
much fits that full personality, like in
Yeah.
the moment, very, very in the moment, very present.
Mm-hmm.
All of this just it's my D&D brain, but it very much speaks bard to me. Somebody who's very charismatic and can get the ball rolling and switch things up really fast, very dexterous and charismatic and just like fun.
Like I would want to be a bard.
I am a bard and it's really fun.
Like there's a little part of me that's like I could be an elf, but I'm not stoic enough for that.
I
Like
mean, you can be an elf and be a bard because there's you choose your race, then your class, and then your subclass.
yeah,
So
there's a lot
like
about D&D I don't know.
it's a lot, but it's really fun.
I'm watching
Um,
Lord of the Rings, and for some reason I'm like, so now I know more about D&D just by default.
Honestly, a lot of the lore that J.A.R. Tolkien, like all the lore that he did, it built so much of the fantasy genre as a whole. So
Mhm.
like it's not a surprise that like Wizards of the Coast, like when they started Dungeons and Dragons, a lot of that was pulled from Lord of the Rings and the fantasy genre. So
Yeah.
elves, especially high elves, were seen as these like celestial, like unearthly beings that were very like above it all.
That that
And
that that's what I got. And
yeah, but like
yeah.
that the way that D&D is now though, you can be a lot more flexible in like
Mhm.
I'm sorry, my cats have the zoomies. Um, it's a lot more flexible now. So you can still be an elf, but you could also just be like
Have a good personality.
a drunkard that like sits in the back booth of the local tavern and
Or that.
yells obscenities at poor performances. Like it's it's way more flexible than it used to be. And depending on like your dungeon master, the person who's running the campaign for you, like you either choose your alignment beforehand or you can kind of figure out your alignment as you go. So like are you chaotic good? Are you chaotic evil, chaotic neutral? Are you lawful good? Like all of that. So most elves were seen as like lawful good, but most people don't typically play it that way anymore, so
Mhm. It
it's
just
really
it never
interesting.
even crossed my mind to be evil.
It depends on, like
Like, I'm sure
it's
my
more on your class than anything, because, like,
Mhm.
certain classes, like clerics and druids, those tend to be more holy. You follow, like, a god or a deity or, like, a very strict religion. Same with
Mhm.
paladins, and so, like, that will determine your actions, but if you're not playing one of those classes, it's a bit more flexible, but even if you are playing one of those, you don't necessarily have to follow something purely good. You could be a cleric, but like you worship a devil. You worship infernal. Like it's very interesting. Really just depends on your DM and the world that you're building, but it's part of it.
Wild.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's pretty cool.
I don't know if Jupiter is not approving of the conversation, but he's just like stoically like hunched.
He's taking it all in. He's listening.
Or it's one of his like open-eyed naps, but he doesn't look very relaxed. Ah, he just moved. I was like, what's going on? He's entranced. I don't know.
He's like D&D. Oh my God, I gotta listen.
He's like, zoinks, that sounds scary.
So fun though.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to share the mermaid or about it?
Yeah, well, I want to show the art because I think it's a really fun depiction of the fool. Um,
Mm.
so I just pulled out the book because it was going to be easier than filtering through all the cards.
Mhm.
But the depiction is very similar to what we see here. We have this mermaid that's coming out of the water, like new environment. Like she's first time out of the water, like doesn't know what she's doing, where she's going. She has like the bare essentials, like a staff and like the stuff in her bag, and she's transitioning from fins and a tail to legs for the first time. Just kind of looking off. She's very hopeful and excited. Um, it's a really interesting depiction and it's a very positive one. So I've also pulled the Fool in my other tarot decks, but this was the first time that I ever did. And so it really spoke to me because it's just like she's young and hopeful and ready for a new journey. And talks about like, this is she's totally out of her element. Doesn't know what she's going to do. She doesn't know anything about this environment that she's now in. She's, you know, like she's having to rely on these legs now because her tail is like useless on land. So
Mhm.
just like having to completely transition and change to adapt to her new environment. And she's just like she's happy, curious, ready to explore this world that as it says, she shares the great cosmos with. So I was like, "Oh, that's fun." And there's like little star lights in the back, which I thought was really cool.
Mm.
Um and it's just like, yeah, can only hope that like she studied well and she knows what she's doing and that she'll be ready for whatever challenges and dangers ahead. Um And then it also goes into like what it means when it's upright, like when you pull it upright versus reversed. Upright is just like, hang on, new adventure is coming up, like be on the lookout. It's time to explore new things, places, and people. Set a course for somewhere that you haven't been, do something new. Whereas reversed, it speaks more to like how difficult it can be to leave the comfort of what you already know to venture into something like the great beyond, the mysterious, what you may not be comfortable with. And so you're like constantly looking for excuses and talking yourself out of it so that you like don't have to venture out and try something new. And I'm guilty of doing that, like talking myself out of something. Um I'm getting better and I've also always been like very impulsive. So a lot of that is just trying to find a balance between like, can I be impulsive with this? Does it serve me? Is it safe for me to do so? And like, is this something that I can do when I'm in a better environment or should I just pull the plug and do it now? Or, like just do it. And so yeah, it's just like the reverse speaks more to the resistance for that new journey to start. Um But in the end, it's like, oh, but that allure of a new adventure, like it's pretty exciting. Like you might just give into it. So the resistance is normal, but it's time to let go and start over. So
Mhm.
very much a transitional card and very hopeful. So and I like that depiction because especially for like this last year has been a lot. So having that confirmation and reassurance that yes, it's scary, but do it anyways and follow your heart. It's spoken to me a lot and it's gotten me into a much better and safer environment than what I'd previously been in. And I will always be thankful for that. And tarot, I think, is a really great tool for guidance because ultimately, at the end of the day, we're going to pull out of it what we want to see.
Yes.
How we decipher it for ourselves is going to be different than how somebody else will. And so when you're asking for guidance on something, you're either looking for that confirmation or a way to deny what you're already feeling in your gut. And so, like, instinct was already starting to tell me, like, it's time to move on. And, it's okay to do that. And, like, it's okay to be excited for something new. And that just gave me that reassurance, like, hey, yeah, like, it's just a little push that you need to move along. And
Yeah.
helped a lot.
I think with tarot too, you can pull the same card multiple times and extract different meanings from it because it
Hmm.
is really about whatever's speaking to you at that moment.
Yeah. And the placement and how you pull it is integral to that too. Like, if you do the past, present, future draw, which is what I typically do, where you pull the Fool is going to be, it's going to have a different meaning depending on where you pull it. Is it reversed? Is it upright? What's going on? So,
Mhm.
same
Yeah.
goes for any card, but
Yeah, it's been a while since I've done a full like layout. I usually just kind of pull a bunch of cards and then figure out what's going on. Um, but usually when I get the Fool, I take it unless I'm asking a specific question. I'm like, okay, this is me in this situation. This is the representative of me. And then pretty much anytime I see it reversed, unless it means something specific to what I am like asking, I'm thinking, oh, okay, I'm not being myself right now. Like that's just immediately what it tells me is I'm not, because I do like being happy go lucky and just kind of walking off and doing random things and like, climbing on cliffs and stuff. And so when it's reversed, it just feels like a sort of stagnant, like you're not going and doing what you like to do. You're not running around and like chasing after things that make you happy right now.
you're not being whimsical enough.
You're not
Yeah,
being sad yourself.
I need to be my whimsy mimsy.
There you go.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like when I would be shuffling my decks, the Fool often popped out at me.
Hmm.
So it's just like kind of just picking at me like, what are you doing? Like, why are you stuck? Get out of this. It's time to, get a move on it. That thing that you're putting
Hmm.
off, do it.
Mhm.
Um, very much calling me out. Um, but I always appreciate it because that also means that I know that I'm being authentic when the Fool shows up or when she just happens to pop out of whatever deck I'm in. And I'm just like, oh, the
Hmm.
Fool. Hey.
Mhm. I
Yeah.
did like how the description from the mermaid one brought up adaptability because it doesn't really talk about that in the others, but I feel like that's a strong suit for the Fool, right?
Hmm.
Being able to adapt. 'Cause
Yeah,
even
that I
on the
think
cliff,
that goes
he's
along with the
walking off.
wisdom.
Yeah, but I mean, like walking off the cliff because there's he's not going on the regular path, the road. He's just going off. You just assume he's gonna adapt and swim and or magically find a boat. Some
Yeah. Or like you that is the last image you see on the card. If you don't know anything about the Fool or his wisdom, you assume, yikes,
What's
like
going
that's not
on?
wisdom. So having that context there helps a lot, actually, I feel.
It reminds me of the Aladdin movie where he like walks off the balcony and because Jasmine's like, "Oh, just go jump off the balcony." And then he does it And she's like, "Oh my God, like where did he go?" And then he pops back up because the magic carpet was there.
Mhm.
So that very much like speaks to like fool energy because he knew that like no matter what, he was gonna be safe. He was gonna be able to adapt to that situation because of the support that he had. Jasmine
Mhm.
didn't, because from her perspective, she just saw him walk off a balcony. So
That's so terrifying when you think
yeah,
about it.
you're
Like
like, "Oh my
like,
God."
at least there was immediate gratification of, "Okay, he's okay."
Like he's
But, like,
good. It's fine.
gosh, it's not every day that you're put in situations like that, and
Hmm.
so I can't imagine what that would feel like.
And being able to adapt and just kind of go like roll with the punches. I think it's super important, especially at least with work and with life, just in general. Like, things aren't always going to go according to plan. So you have to be able to like adapt and figure out your way around it. Um, Actually, when I went to go get my tattoo on Saturday, I hit traffic that was going to make me an hour late. I was like, well, that's not going to work. So I immediately started like trying to figure out a way around it. And I did. And I was only a few minutes late. So it's like
Mhm.
figuring out a way around the roadblocks ahead to get to like your goal, essentially. So if it's not working the way that you initially planned it, finding a way around it so that you can still meet that end goal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you look at this imagery, at least on this card, the, Rider Waite card, he doesn't look concerned at all. He looks like, yes, I'm here and I'm like, I'm loud, I'm proud, I'm going. So very um, optimistic.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's a card of hope, I think, at the end of the day.
Yeah. And he's got the flower, he's got the dog, his little itty bitty bag. I mean, just looking at that imagery, I feel like he could just pop into any little village, unpack what he needs, find the food that he needs, meet the people that he needs. Like it is this very like it just unfolds.
Yeah, it's trusting in the universe to like provide what you need.
We experienced a little bit of that yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Um, I think
I was like, what are you talking about?
uh
Wow. Okay, fine, I
sorry.
guess.
No, we went to Oktoberfest
Mhm.
and went to talk to this was it Crumble? I don't know, some cookie place. And I'm like, because they don't normally have vegan, gluten-free, and soy-free
Yeah.
cookies. And he had one because I was like, okay, that can't be like soy-free too. And he's like, yeah. And then
That crumble?
It's like they're called monster cookies or
okay,
something.
I
Oh,
was
okay.
yeah.
Cool.
Um, and he just gave it. I was like gonna buy it, and he's like, no, just take it.
It happened twice yesterday.
Yes, we got the food too.
Yeah, we
Gave it.
mom was like, "Oh, I'm kind of hungry." And she wanted corn dogs, but the place that did the corn dogs wasn't like an actual corn dog. So I looked around and I'm like, "Oh, look." I'm sorry. The cats are running around. But I looked around and I was like, "Oh, well, there's like sausages and bratwurst right over there." So we just kind of meandered over and just talked to the person at the register and complimented her dwindle because she was dressed up. Like a lot of
Mhm.
the like vendors were dressed up, and so we just like sat and talked with her for a couple minutes, and then we go to order and just immediately just it's on us, don't worry about it. Like card out and everything, and so we just left a tip because we're like,
Yeah.
now what? We got to pay this forward like karmically.
Mhm.
Um, but it was just really funny. Like it was just like that all day. It was very weird. We just
No,
happened to
that's
be in
awesome.
like the right place at the right time for a lot of things.
Mhm.
So
It's a very gluttonous day for me. Cookie, sauce. Was it bratwurst or
it
salsa?
was bratwurst. It was a
Holiday.
bacon
It's just
wrapped bratwurst. It was delicious. But
I
it
just needed
was,
protein, that's for sure.
yeah, I ended up eating all of my leftover steak and everything when I got home too. I slept well last night up until 3 in the morning, but um
I'm really hungry now.
you should fix that when we're done with this.
Well, it
Um
is 8 PM where we are, or where I am, where everyone is.
Yeah.
yeah, we're same time zone right now.
But in Flagstaff, that means it's a dead zone. So,
Oh.
Gotcha.
yeah. And I forgot to go grocery shopping today. So, I have milk and
I mean,
some cookies I made earlier.
some of my best recipes are just like made with stuff that I had in my fridge and my pantry, and I just kind of throw it all together. So it's a good time to, what's the word? Improvise.
Get creative. Yeah.
Yeah. Very
What
much
can
speaks to
I
this
find?
card. We're doing it again.
Yep.
It's it's there's some stuff I could do. I guess, yeah. I'll get hungry enough and then I'll end up making some pasta.
Hell yeah.
Mhm. What else is new?
Oh, it works.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like, we didn't talk about what open to your thoughts on this, and I can stop recording and we can still record. I can cut the recording, whatever. Um, I mean, I know I just kind of wanted to get into the cards and kind of talk about the personalities of them. And I love that
Mm-hmm.
you brought in some of the other cards because it kind of shed light also on the personality. Um, but not really talking about layouts. And I don't even know that that's necessary. I mean, I was going to create like a little workbook and I can put layouts in there. That's totally fine. But I think it's enjoyable and interesting just to have conversations, even if it goes and meanders off the path, as it will. That is the nature of the three of us. So,
I think the natural flow works
Mhm.
because we end up thinking something new or seeing it in a different light and sharing our different takes on things with each other. And then it's like, oh, I didn't think about that.
yeah, yeah.
Are we recording still?
Yeah,
Yes.
I can
Okay.
stop though.
I didn't know
Hi.
Oh,
if we wanted to talk about this on the recording.
But no, I'll stop recording. But do you want to say bye before I stop?
Oh,
oh
okay.
yeah.
I didn't introduce either of you, right? I mean, or myself,
Hi.
but hi, Emma. Hi, Ash. Hi,
Hello.
Nikki. Bye.
Bye. Hi. Bye.
Okay.